Where do I even start? Most of you are jumping into making content way too early. Okay? Now, I have a completely different opinion compared to these people who teach you how to make a personal brand because obviously they're going to ask you to make content because that's where their business is. I have a different opinion because I don't want you to make a personal brand. Okay? In a day, you only have so much energy. Okay? It's much easier to use this energy to get to 10K a month in dollars while getting $2,000 clients, 5 clients, than to build an audience of 250,000 followers or subscribers. That's where 10K a month is. So you decide, what would you rather do at gunpoint if I said you need to make 10K a month or else I blow your brains out? What's much easier? Learning a skill, monetizing it, and getting to 10K a month through a business online, maybe a service business, maybe a product business, or building a following of 250,000 followers or subscribers. You decide. Number two, let's be very, very honest. Most of you are making content for the sake of making content. There is no substance, you don't have any life experiences, none of it. When I started making content, I already was making thousands and thousands of dollars a week before I started talking about money. I was already benching over 100 kilos before I started talking about fitness. I already had success with women before I started talking about dating. Most of you have neither of these things. Look yourself deeply in the mirror and think, do you have anything that you can give advice about? Do you have good experience? Good, talk about that. The point is not to prove me wrong here. The point is that you know what you're talking about. No wonder you'll feel an imposter syndrome when you start making content because you know that those are not your shoes to fill. Making content is step 10. Okay? It is step 10. What I mean is that you need to know things to speak about. Most of you are just speaking for the sake of speaking because at the end of the day, what do you want? You want followers so that you can get pussy. You want followers so that when you walk in a room, people will be like, oh, that's that influencer with 10,000 followers. Trust me, it gets old and it's not anything special. Okay? There are so many people with 10,000 followers that just fuck around and bark. So, if you're confused about what to do with content and stuff like that, my suggestion is actually do things before you speak about them. Look into your life and ask yourself, what experience have you been through? Maybe you're the best plumber in your city. I give you all the right to talk about your plumbing business. There's another way of making content when you're getting started, okay? So that you don't feel this imposter syndrome, so that you don't go out of content, document your experience. That's one way that you can make good content and people will listen to you, because there are a lot of people making content about, oh, how to get rich, but there's not a lot of people that say, oh, how I got rich with my plumbing business at age 22 in India. You know what I mean? So those kind of things will stick longer and people will actually listen to you, because they're not going to say, oh, you don't own a plumbing business and stuff like that, because they can say, oh, you're not rich, show us your bank statements, and you'll have nothing to show but like $1,000 or even lesser. So yes, if you're making content just for the sake of making content because you want to grow an audience and maybe monetize in the future, that's very internal thinking. But what you fail to realize is that this piece of content that you're making is going to reach thousands and thousands of people. How are you going to provide a service for them? How are you going to make their life better when you're so internally thinking that you can't even realize that you have made this content for yourself and your own benefit? What are you doing for them? One more thing is that, you know, these people who, okay, I'm talking mainly about sit down and give advice kind of videos. If you're documenting your journey, then you're already a step ahead of the curve, because People aren't doing that. People are too embarrassed to say that, oh, I'm just starting out my business. I have this much of net worth. I have 10,000 rupees in my bank account. I want to make it a lakh a month. People are too embarrassed to say that. They want to say, hey, here's how you get rich without even being rich. So, my suggestion to all of you looking forward to making content is very, very simple. Okay? If you want to talk about business, own a business, start making money, get it to $10,000 a month, start making your first $1,000, teach people how to make their first $1,000, show your work, and that way more people will listen to you. Or you take them through the whole journey where you're showing your experience as to, oh, this is my first day doing outreach, these are what I've learned, and you show like the screen recording of the things you've learned and the way that you're doing things, what are you testing and stuff like that. That's another way that you can make this work. But what you can't do is sit out there and say, hey, here's how to do cold outreach, because you've just started on your day one. You know what I mean? And that's the same way with dating, it's the same way with these self-improvement. Because if you've just started with the gym, you can't be giving advice as to, oh, here's how you get jacked. You know what I mean? People laugh at you. So, yeah, that's the message for the day. If you're starting out, is what I would do if I went to the past. Keep in mind, I was also guilty of this. I used to make random content saying, oh, a business, like, this is how you make, this is how you do business and stuff like that. And I knew nothing about business. This is a really, really long ago, by the way, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But now I can sit in this chair very comfortably, knowing that I know what I'm doing. I know how much money I make. I know how it is to put a service business together and scale it to $10,000 a month or even further. Actually, well over that mark. But look, the point is that once you do these things, they can hear the confidence in your voice. You might fool 20,000 people, but yourself, you know that you're lying. Yourself, when you look in the mirror, you know that the fact that you have lied to yourself and you will not respect yourself for that. So, if I was starting over, this is what I do. Okay? If you want to talk about business, get a successful business first. Get the $1,000 client first, and then start teaching people how to do that. You want to talk about dating, okay? Go out there, approach girls, make your dating life something, and then start talking about it. If you want to talk about benching and fitness, bench your 100 kgs and tell them how your journey and your failures and stuff like that. People can't shit on your failures. Now, even if they have a negative interaction to you, it's no problem, because that's going to happen regardless. But the point is that for yourself and your own dignity and your own self-respect, you need to do the doing before you start making content. Because trust me, there is a lot of people that just shoot these videos for the sake of shooting these videos, because they know and we know they're just doing it for themselves and their own benefit. They're not giving a service to anyone else. Right now, I'm shooting this for you so that you can save time. I'm not doing it for me, because this video might not reach millions and millions of views because it's not a sexy topic. I'm doing it because the 100 people that it reaches, at least, are going to benefit from it. The 100 people, out of the 100 people, maybe 20 of them actually look at it and stop making content and actually start a business, and they grow their income, and then they can invest in editors and stuff like that to grow their content. So I have looked at the chessboard, I've analyzed, I've put the pieces together. I'm saying that's the wrong move, do this instead, and that's benefited at least one of you. I'd be happy. If you're so internal thinking, actually sit down and think, why am I making content? Why do I want a following? Why do I want an audience? Looking back, if I didn't start content maybe 2 years back and I just went all in on my businesses, trust me, I just have a strong, hard feeling that my business would be twice as much as it's worth now. But here we are. I built an audience. I can't just leave you guys hanging. So we'll take the fall a little bit. I know we'll reach there anyway. But yes, the point being, Content is something, especially if you want to talk in an authoritative tone, you need to do the doing before you even talk about it. So that's the message for the day today, boys.